Today's episode is brought to you by the Vegas Beer Guys.
Everything sequel contains explicit language. And why the fudge not, you melon farmer?
Hello and welcome to the Everything Sequel Podcast. This is the Robocop edition. Today we pitch sequels, friends. My name is Michael Shantz of the How Dare You Awards. Joining me, the man with a plan, Tom Stewart of Lonesome Whistle Productions. Hit him, Tom.
Isn't the moon wonderful tonight? There he is, Stepford Robocop.
Stepford Robocop. Well, you know what we didn't say? What does he say about foul language? He says, foul, or is it foul language that he says? That makes for hurt feelings?
Yeah, I think so.
Or bad language.
So much fun to write.
Bad language makes for hurt feelings.
Must have been so
Fuck
much fun
you.
to write. Maybe even more than watching.
Yeah. Well, here we are. Time to pitch sequels.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What do you do with a series like Robocop? You've got a revered first movie.
Yeah.
An oddball second movie.
Yeah.
A shit third movie.
It's officially shit. On
Yeah.
That's our...
Right.
We don't bother with ripe,
Yeah.
rotten, it's just
Shit.
shit or not shit. That's the best we do.
You got the little
It's
shit emoji icon.
It's the classic series that's lost its way.
It's lost its way, and I think I brought this up, when Sam Raimi did Spider-Man 3, it was this idea of, if they had let him do one more, can you bring a movie back?
Yeah, dangerous,
From
right?
the fucking cellar.
But I suppose what's different about this series because we've seen series that have just gone off the rails and got progressively worse.
Of course.
Like every other
every
other time.
like
we
almost
do a
all
series.
of them.
Yeah, almost all of them. But these films are, despite having the same cast and
Mostly.
storylines, themes, almost for the most part. They're entirely different. They're completely. Each movie is its own animal, and I'm including the original in there.
Yeah, right.
Really they've all got their own
identity,
flavors. So
yeah.
So what do you do with that? Do you try and make a, do you Alien Resurrection it? With your, it's like make a unique movie at all costs.
Literally all costs.
Yeah, at all costs. Because the first three movies...
I remember seeing that movie on Thanksgiving Day in 1997.
Interesting.
After making a big dinner for friends and then saying, this isn't how I wanted to end my day.
I believe Paul Rudd said the same thing. But that would be quite good because there's a kind of a turducken in that, in that film. Isn't there? There's like a turducken alien. So it's perfect for Thanksgiving. Maybe that's why they released it then.
Yeah. That's great.
Anyway, but that you have to factor that in as well. It's like you've been set a certain template, but it has nothing to do with tone or style or politics.
No, yeah, right. Well, and there's also the consideration of, in the time we are in now with sequels, with how many sequels are just choosing to ignore fucking everything.
Yeah.
It would be very easy to say, I'll do an interquel. I don't want to deal with 3. I don't want to have to pick up the thread from any of that bullshit or nonsense. And, so it's decisions, right?
It is, yeah. I mean, my instinct is always to respect the timeline when possible, but
yeah, me too.
It's series like this that really test that principle.
Yes, right. Because we have our time machine, and I could just so easily go.
Because the easy thing, the easy thing to do is direct sequel to RoboCop, but you lose all that mid-stage madness.
Yeah, right.
Which I feel is a shame. So you could justify a sequel to RoboCop, like remaking a third in the trilogy.
Yeah.
Not that I've done any of this, but I'm just saying, like, that's where I wouldn't accept a direct sequel to RoboCop. I don't think that's. I think that is unfairly maligning RoboCop 2. I mean, this is the sort of. This is.
I mean, if I had chosen to do that, would you say Dirty Pool? Is that what you're saying?
No, I mean it's.
I haven't, by the way, so you're safe.
No, I know.
But
It's all theoretical at this point, right? But for future reference,
yeah.
I don't know. I think you
I hadn't done my job.
In general, I think you to just jettison that. I don't know. I think increasingly, I think it's become my own sort of cross to bear.
I get it.
Because I don't mind some of that messiness that you get with having to follow not just the original but certain sequels
and all the nonsense that happens in them.
Yeah, all the nonsense that happens in them, and I suppose I also don't like, and this is entirely the opposite point, so it makes no sense. But I also don't like when they do a Ghostbusters Afterlife and pretend that a movie that people didn't like doesn't exist.
Yeah, right.
Even though it still exists in the timeline, but no one talks about it. Like, I think that's worse, actually.
Okay.
Anyway. This is a debate for another time. because I'm not doing anything this radical in terms of storytelling.
Okay.
At all.
All right. Yeah, I don't think I am either. I'll do the thing that I normally do, I think, which is, well, maybe not. I'm trying to take, I'm trying to get a little weird, I'll say.
Oh, okay.
But not too weird.
Yeah.
I mean, a good narrative.
You can treat this as as an anthology movie, basically.
You could.
For all it matters.
Yeah.
There's no consistency. Really, except for the basic premise.
Mm-hmm. I mean, was coming up with an idea difficult for you?
No, no, I don't think it was, actually.
I had to think about it for a while. I had to think about what I wanted.
I kind of knew I felt there was one area of the story that you typically get in police procedurals of this nature that they hadn't explored yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so I sort of laser focused on that. So the idea wasn't hard. I think kind of retrofitting it to the RoboCop cast of characters was maybe the challenge.
Yeah,
but
I had lots of starts and stops too.
Because it's easy to forget with these two batshit crazy sequels that the idea of RoboCop is such a brilliantly simple one.
Yeah, right.
You're augmenting a police procedural. That you're just adding this one sci-fi element basically to the police procedural, and it feels new, but it's actually not. It's very traditional.
Yeah, but you put on top of that the sort of, that first RoboCop movie. There's so much satire.
Yeah.
And we're speaking. We've talked about this before because you're speaking to a specific time. That movie comes out in '87, so we're at the end or towards the end of Ronald Reagan and Ronald Reagan's America, and I think that particular movie speaks so much to
yes
Reagan's America at the time.
Definitely. Yeah. And it's, it makes it harder because that you sort of, at the end of Robocop, you think, well, I can't imagine a Robocop sequel that doesn't have this satirical layer to it.
Right.
And then the second movie kind of doubles down on that. And then the third movie just kind of forgets it completely.
Yeah, right.
So what does that mean?
Except I think it thinks that it is doing that.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. It's yeah, I think that in its own broad way. I mean, there's all that stuff about big business and war are the same things.
Mm-hmm.
No one's ever had that thought before.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's not like there are whole books written about that or anything. So yeah, I guess maybe they do. Maybe they do. They think that that's RoboCop 3 in a nutshell, isn't it? That
right.
They think things are happening on screen that they
that
just thought about, but are not written down. Like, who the fuck owns what? Who's the hero? Who are the villains?
Just explain that much.
What the fuck is a Tomo? And why are there so many of him?
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, do you have any Asian robots in your sequel?
Surprisingly, well, there could be.
Okay.
If the client wanted it, I could work it in. There's no there's no reason that the robot in my story couldn't be Asian.
Fine. Yeah, I guess for mine too.
I mean, yeah, I'll happily blind cast this one.
I like it. Well, I mean, where's that leave us? Do you have anything else to say about before we get started in earnest? About the series, about your ideas, the road you took.
No, I think we've. Well, I suppose this series was rebooted. But it was a reboot. It wasn't a sequel. And of course, I don't know what they do in the TV series or the animated series. So that's what we're kind of contending with. But all that
right
doesn't seem to matter.
Okay.
For our purposes. I mean, never does, but it's sort of like those don't seem to be straight sequels to the film series in any sense.
Mm-hmm.
They're very much their own entity. Did people quite like the RoboCop reboot, didn't they, or did they not? I don't
No, I don't. No,
okay.
I don't think so.
Right. Okay, I misremembered that then.
Yeah, I think RoboCop's either black or steel gray in that one, like a dark gray, but not blue. Yeah. And it's funny, I mean, I saw it, but I can't, I remember Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton is involved.
It was involved, yeah. Any Tom Skerritt? No.
Not Tom Skerritt, but Michael Keaton.
Yeah. That's, I guess my final word about the series would be RoboCop 2 is a good movie until you remember RoboCop is blue. I think that's the best way to think about it. And then you think, how could that possibly be true?
And then what about your movie? Is your movie a good movie?
Oh, I think it could be, yeah. And again, and we had the same when we talked about RoboCop 3. It's like, we don't need RoboCop in this, and that may have influenced my storytelling choices, because this would work as just a movie. I think just a movie about cops.
Is RoboCop in it?
He's in it. He's involved. RoboCop is involved.
Well, then I ask you, sir, what is the title of your movie?
Oh, am I going first? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
The title of my movie is RoboCop Cats.
What?
RoboCopycats.
Oh, okay.
It's obviously like it wouldn't be spelled out like that on a poster.
It sounds like it would. RoboCopycats.
RoboCopycats. It's Robocop with an E-Cats after it.
I get it.
Or a Y-Cats.
No, not a Y?
No, a Y, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I can't use audio to tell you how this is going to look on a face. Robocop, Y, Cats.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be said Y Cats. See, if I said Y Cats,
yeah,
you'd
okay,
be like,
I understand.
oh, it's a question. Yeah, so I had to say E, but it's not an E, it's a Y.
Robocop, why cats?
Good question. And I say unto
the first
you,
scene is just Robocop in his apartment with a bunch of cats.
That's it, with his friend who's a sad Robocop security guard.
That's great.
They live together. So Robocopycats is 3 years after the events of Robocop 3. And Robocop is missing. Everyone's going around asking, where's Robocop? I didn't even think about that! Oh, fuck! I'm pitching a bad movie without even knowing it. I made all the same mistakes! It's Robocop 3! Carry on! I swear to God, Mike, I said that without any irony until I realized what I was saying.
Oh, I'm crying.
It's
too much.
Robocop's missing.
It's too much. Too much.
It's too much. It's too
It's
much.
too much laughter. Oh.
Too much laughter. It is. Apologies. Apologies.
Where's Robocop?
Where's Robocop? Where did Robocop go? He's been missing. So Robocop's missing.
So kind of Superman Returns scenario.
Yeah. You know. So I was quite happy. So confidentially, I was quite happy about this pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as the episode began, I started cycling it through my mind, and I thought, God, this sounds like the beginning of a lot of movies I don't like. There's a Superman Returns, there's a Force Awakens, there's a lot of stuff I really don't want to be in the media landscape.
At least you got some Poochie in there.
And I'm creating more of it. And Poochie. Which I hadn't even clocked. Oh, dear. So... and a ropey title. So this movie has it all.
Yeah.
So Robocop's missing 3 years after the events of Robocop 3. Everyone's asking, where's Robocop? So crime is running rampant without Robocop to enforce it, to enforce the law. And
the regular cops aren't enough.
Well, no, and in the wake of Robocop's absence, a number of robo-vigilantes, technologically augmented victims of violent crime, are now informally enforcing the law around the city. So there's robot Charles Bronsons all around the city of Detroit, taking care of things, taking care of crime. And the police / OCP are concerned. First of all, where's Robocop? Second of all, where are all these Robocopycats coming from? Hence the title.
I understand.
Because what, we will open on a scene where you think it's Robocop coming out, but it turns out to just be one of these robo-vigilantes. But the cops who eventually arrive at this...
but they don't have anything to do with the police. They're building themselves. People are building...
Yeah, they're like your classic vigilante. They're not associated with the police force. They're informally...
But are they half robot
fighting.
like Robocop, or are they just
Yes.
dressing up like Robocop?
Yeah.
So
they're...
Okay.
They're cyborgs, right? So
Right.
they're people
Is there a
people
cyborg
would have
shop?
otherwise...
Where are they? How are they getting this done?
That's what the film's about.
Okay,
that's the
all right.
mystery. That's the mystery element. You're asking all the right questions. Because OCP/the police, they don't know where these robo-vigilantes are coming from, and a robo-vigilante that was killed during a firefight is revealed to have OCP
data,
copyrighted
yeah,
microtechnology inside them. So they're thinking, who is supplying this?
A fucking rogue agent. That's who.
All right, who's that rogue agent? Do we think?
I think
okay.
it.
That's what the film's about. You're asking all the right questions, which shows I'm doing my job correctly.
Right.
Despite the Poochie misstep. So Sergeant Reed, who's a week away from retirement, I just thought I'd throw that in.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like he would be. Demographically, he looks like he's a week away from retirement. From what we know about African American cops in police procedurals,
right?
He's a week away from retirement, and Johnson, who is now running OCP.
Well, that's who I think it is.
Oh, well, no. Well, there you go. It's not him because
okay.
he is. Well, I mean, it could be. I'll make that change if you want. But at least at this point, he's concerned about the misuse of OCP microtechnology.
Okay.
Sergeant Reed is obviously concerned because, it's all happened because Robocop's absence leaving a vacuum. So Johnson sent Sergeant Reed on an assignment to discover who is making these other Robocops and what's happened to Robocop. And the trail leads Sergeant Reed to, as you say, this cyborg factory where they're kind of making, steampunk versions of Robocop with this special chip that is what turns it into a Robocop, which is obviously like being traded on the black market from OCP. And they basically find the guy who's making it, and they're asking, where did you get this chip? And he's like, I got it from this cop who sold it to me. And I said, what's the name of the cop? Murphy. So, with this, not like Reed is trying to think, well, Murphy's is it Robocop himself? So where would you go if you couldn't find Robocop? Where do you think he would go? He would be. What have the films told us that where would he be hanging out?
Wait, what?
Where would Robocop be hanging out if you can't find him?
But did you say where did the other films tell us it would be?
Yeah, or at least one of the other films. Two of the other films.
To me, it would be he'd be with some gang who's working on him.
Okay, maybe that's true. But Reed thinks that maybe he's stalking his family again.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
So he goes to family's house, where they're having a birthday party for Murphy, for the patriarch, and his wife and son there saying, "Yeah, we do this every year, to celebrate his memory." And so Reed leaves, satisfied that he's not there. He says, if you see Robocop hanging around, let us know, because we got to find him, because he's supplying. Well, he probably doesn't.
Circumstantial evidence, Tom. Hang on a sec.
So he leaves, and as he leaves, once he's driven away, Murphy himself, full Peter Weller, not even Robocop Peter Weller, full-on Peter Weller, appears out of the bathroom where he's been hiding.
Hey-o.
He's actually at his own birthday party. So what's going on?
You tell me.
Well,
did they?
I do know.
Did they clone him?
Well, so basically, as Reed continues the investigation, he discovers someone that we haven't seen from an entire film, the old man,
Mm-hmm.
who was forced out of OCP in a hostile takeover by Mako's corporation, and is now selling this microtechnology on the black market that he stole before he left. He's discovered to be the one who's actually supplying it.
Okay.
Whereas Murphy, in exchange for a new Otomo-like cyborg body, was hired by Mako to work undercover in this operation and try and break the old man's black market dealings.
Mm.
That's Robo-Copycats.
All right, then.
Yeah.
Robo-Copycats.
With a full Peter Weller.
Yeah, right.
We'll get full Weller. Robocop is now Murphy again.
All right. I got no problems with that.
All right. And eventually he will be found and people will stop asking, where's Robocop? Even though I do realize that then it becomes, where's Murphy?
Yeah, exactly. That's fun.
No, but yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bit generic, but I think the series can take it.
Of course.
It's a bit more Death Wish, a bit more, different kind of police procedural, but I think the series is robust enough.
Yeah, I mean, if any series could handle that, it's RoboCop.
If any series could handle that kind of complete change of tact.
Chicanery. All right, then. Are you ready?
Yes, I am. Unless RoboCop is missing in your version, because I don't know if I'm ready for that.
Right. I'm in the midst of making last-second decisions that might hurt me, but
as long as you've not made him missing,
I'm gonna roll it.
because
Yeah, he's not missing.
I think the general feedback I would give to myself, that's not a good way to start any film. With the character that you want to see missing, and the characters going.
You give a lot of movies
What?
a lot of shit, even if he's just missing for the first 15 minutes of RoboCop 3.
Yeah. Where's Luke Skywalker? I'm just remembering the Force Awakens. I think it's actually in the opening crawl, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Luke
Like
Skywalker is missing.
Luke Skywalker is missing.
I should have.
You don't know where he is.
Wouldn't it have been great if I walked out at that exact point that came up on screen as a statement? Because if Dial of Destiny, if I get an early, if the entire cold open is him digitally de-aged, I will walk out.
No, you won't.
I might do at that point. I'll have to go back and see it because we need to cover it at some point.
Right.
But I might walk out at that point.
Yeah, I get it.
Because what's the rest of the film got to offer me at that point?
Not much. Certainly, probably the least interesting title.
Ugh. Well, also, yeah. Let's call it something like Dial of Destiny.
Yeah, exactly. But
let's
we'll
get
think
it.
of something.
Poochie. We're going back to Poochie again. Poochie, but not that lame.
We'll call it Dial of Destiny or something like that, but less stupid.
Exactly. I think I'd like to see. At this point, I'd like to see the. He's close enough in age to the Indiana Jones we saw in the cold opens of all the young Indiana Jones movies.
Mm-hmm.
The 90-year-old with the eye patch who's always telling kids to be quiet. Give me that
Shut
Indiana Jones. Played by Harrison Ford. I'm as happy as a lark. Don't de-age him. Age him up.
Age him up.
I want him to be too much old.
Give that fucker an eye patch.
Anyway, carry on.
All right. Well, I'm calling my movie Robocop 4,
Oh.
colon,
Oh.
Too Big to Fail.
You're clearly not speaking about the title.
That's what I like about it, is that if you make a shitty movie, you're just inviting people to fuck with your fucking title.
You've
It's
literally
great.
picked the worst possible title
Yeah.
for your own reception.
Yeah, exactly. There's just so much to play with if you make a bad movie.
I'm surprised you even have a subtitle, given
I know, me too.
About
I wanted to surprise you.
You did. You very much did. In many ways.
That's what I was going for.
Okay.
So, mission 1 accomplished.
Absolutely.
We open up on an SNL type of show. You see a used car lot and a salesman. He's pitching cars. I got this, I got that for you. You want this, you want that. Then he's talking about airplanes. I got this, I got that. Then small businesses. I got this, I got that. And then he says, I'm even selling Omnicorp. Cut to that weird kind of bald guy. I'll buy that for $1.
Yeah, great.
Cut. We interrupt this broadcast to bring you a special report. President Ronald Jones, brother of Dick Jones, is coming to Detroit. As part of his whistle-stop tour, he's selling his controversial plan to bail out Omnicorp, which is, of course, too big to fail.
Yeah.
You get that fucking title in there in the first 2 minutes.
That's what I did as well. There's nothing but robo-copycats out there.
Yeah. So they'll be giving you some important narrative information. You find out that the brother of Dick Jones is actually president of the United States, and that he's coming to Detroit, that he's trying to sell this idea that we cannot let Omnicorp disintegrate. It's too big to fail. And then we interrupt that special report for this special report.
Oh my God.
And
so how much of the movie is just this broadcast?
Yeah, we're only like 5 minutes in, Tom.
Oh, okay. 5 minutes is a lot.
That's good. My explanation of it is longer than how long it will take. But we're interrupting that report to bring you this report of Robocop trying to foil a bank robbery. Robocop comes sliding in. We're a good 15, 20 years after Robocop 3, by the way.
So he's resolved whatever issues he had with the Detroit police force at this point.
Yeah.
He's back on the team.
He's back on the force.
Okay. And do we have any reference to that, or are you just going to let their imaginations run wild as to how that happened?
Well, not right now.
Okay. Oh, okay. Interesting. Good answer.
We're still
watching Media Break.
Robocop sliding up in his patrol car to the outside of a bank, followed by another car with a young woman getting out of that car who's saying things like, you keep leaving without me, Murphy. And Murphy says, did I? Officer Lewis, apologies. We're dealing...
Robo Lewis?
No. Well, not yet.
How was that a spoiler? How was that innocent question a spoiler? Anyway, carry on.
So, it's Lewis's daughter.
Uh-huh.
Before Unspoken of course, because it's a sequel.
Yeah, quite.
And it's Lewis's daughter. So, you've got this, is it Reed? Sergeant Reed?
Yeah, he's still around?
He's still around. And
he was a week away from retirement in 1996 in my version.
He's still around, holding up the fort. And he's going to say, how do you want to handle this? And Robocop says, straight on. So he starts walking towards the bank. Then you get, from the bank's point of view, you get the bad guys in there, and they're going to be saying, "Oh shit, what's your idea now, buddy?" There's going to be a huge shootout, and the bank robbers are going to go underground, and they're going to get away. And what we're going to come to discover, and then so that's the cold open. Cha-chung,
Oh,
Robocop
Jesus
4.
Christ. And we're still watching Media Break.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no. I mean, we go from Media Break into...
Okay. Yeah, I'm with
into what Robocop's actually doing.
Got it.
Yeah. And we'll come to find out that there is a new currency that is going to be...
a new currency or a nuke currency?
Not a nuke currency, a new currency that's going to be distributed throughout the United States, and they're going to be it's kind of like so stupid. It's kind of be like pirate booty almost. It's like little gold coins. But they have to have a particular.
Well, we had gold bars in Robocop too.
Yeah, we have to have a particular stamp on it. And what they'll come to discover is what the bank robbers got was, whole kind of tubes that could be cut of the money before it got the stamp.
Oh.
And so that they could stamp as much as they want.
Oh wow.
But so that's we're kind of that's Act 1, let's just say.
Okay.
And what we're getting into for Robocop himself is, of course, he's got a new partner. It's Lewis's daughter, but he doesn't want to engage with this new partner because his partner Lewis died. So he is becoming more reckless with himself and less able to work with a partner. He wants to work by himself. So Lewis is saying, "You're my partner, you got to work with me, you got to do this." And then the whole time Robocop's saying, "I don't want to do that, there's this, you shouldn't be doing this work, blah, 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 blah." Then you have that sort of idea that I just mentioned of Robocop getting fast and loose with how he's playing with danger. What we will come to find out, though, is that President Ronald Jones, he's the loose cannon, Tom.
Oh, of course. Yeah, every organization's got to have one.
Yeah. And so he is the one. You're going to have a scene at the beginning. Not at the beginning, but, after the entire shootout. And then we'll go to the president getting to Detroit and the press there and, saying, "So what do you think your reception's going to be with Omnicorp and all the evil they've done, and you're wanting to save this company from going under?" And he'll say it's the responsible thing to do, and we got to do this, and we got to do that. And they're going to say, "What do you say to your critics that say you just want to help the company of your evil brother, or just help the company of your brother?" And he said, "The last person I'm going to want to help is my brother, because he, of course, did evil things and terrible things. Omnicorp can be responsible and good. We're not following the example of my brother or that crazy woman or the Japanese."
I don't know what you mean by...
My watch just said, "I don't know what you mean."
Your watch is doing my job. I don't think the client's going for it.
Anyway.
That basically means your pitch is out there in the internet somewhere. It's in the cloud.
It's crazy.
You're gonna see it like someone's gonna announce it in Variety. Like,
obviously,
Jesus.
I could see your eyes glazing over. I've gone on too long.
No, not at all.
Just so you
I'm
know,
fascinated. I like
wanted
this.
this
Really
movie
good.
to be.
I love that it's a business movie. I think that is more of a spiritual sequel to Robocop than the other two.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going for. I wanted to have sort of the politics of today
I
mixing
don't
with
know what you mean.
what we got from the first RoboCop. But I also thought it would be really funny if in the second act, RoboCop working with the doctors who are working with him and don't like all the risks he's taking, they want him to now do some good PR moves, which would include like going on a kids show and doing a big dance number.
That's great. Yeah.
Too big to fail, Tom.
Well, that also addresses the sort of misstep towards family-friendly RoboCop.
Yeah, right.
But does it with like entertainment satire.
But making it, with purpose.
That's really good. That's really good.
So the thing that I was wrestling with, the question you asked earlier, which was the idea that occurred to me right at the end, was, that moment in Superman 3.
Yes.
And it's the moment the moment where Superman is walking into the cave, and Ross Webster, like the kryptonite hits him, the beam, and Ross Webster's just out of nowhere is like, this time we got it right.
Yes.
So I kind of want that moment with a new Terminator, new RoboCop foe.
You're not too far off track.
Yeah.
So what, to create a Robo Lewis's daughter?
A RoboCop, a new version of RoboCop that they can wield to their own power, the bad guys. Except who's it going to be, Tom?
Yeah.
It'll be Officer Lewis.
Ah. Well,
so what they've done is program her to be evil, but then you'll have a second act confrontation in which she kind of gets the upper hand on RoboCop, and he has to, go get fixed and that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But you have the same thing that you had in the first movie, in which she starts to feel the doubts because her human part is like, wait, I know that fucking guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll work together, and she'll even sacrifice herself. I like a good sacrifice for RoboCop to live, for them to foil the crime, to beat down the president, and then of course
another member of the Lewis family.
Yeah,
gunned down.
Well, for a second time. I'm saying original. I'm saying original Lewis is RoboCop.
That's what I was digging at, because who's to say that her organs and brain weren't harvested as soon as she died?
Exactly. So you have mother, daughter, and Weller RoboCop working together to foil all the crimes.
Yeah. Yes, I think that's I like Robo Lewis a lot.
Yeah, and by the end, these movies are so focused on last lines, and Omnicorp
to their detriment. Yes.
Yes. Omnicorp. I played with the idea of like, do you bring the old man back like you thought? But to me, it's too much for him to ask, what are your officers' names again? So I'll have to, I have to have a different person at the top below the president who had no idea what was going on from the president.
So guest Robo, that's what you need. You need a guest RoboCop, guest Wildcard.
Yeah.
And then you can make a RoboCop movie.
And yeah, exactly. But the last question will be, that's awful good work. What are your names again? And RoboCop by that time will say, I'm Murphy, and this is my partner, Lewis. And we work together now. And that's RoboCop.
They're both tightening a nut in their heads.
Well, it'll be not for her, because young Lewis will still be a regular person. Just old Lewis will be.
Oh, I get it. So
RoboCop
in your scenario, young Lewis survives completely.
Mm-hmm.
Old Lewis survived enough to be a Robo Lewis.
Yeah, and then becomes evil, and then.
Oh, right. Okay.
And then becomes, rather than foe, an ally of RoboCop and her daughter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
RoboCop 4, too big to fail.
Too big to fail.
Because it's big. It's a big movie.
I forgot because that's the Enron documentary, isn't it?
Yeah, yes, very much so. Right.
And doesn't it end with a question mark?
It might. I don't remember. I've seen. I haven't seen it
So
since.
that poses the question. That poses
then.
another grammar question to you. Is it going to be too big to fail or too big to fail? Excellent.
Yeah, there you
Great
have it.
Work. Great work.
Good times.
I understand what you mean, even if your watch doesn't.
Yeah, my stupid ass watch did not give me a lot of confidence there when my watch said, "I have no fucking idea what you're talking about."
I'd love it if you were pitching this for real and it sort of just said, "You fucking idiot. You don't know anything about movies." It's like, wow, that's an aggressive Apple Watch you got there.
Yeah,
Smashed it.
my Apple Watch
one
is
too
always
many
setting me
times.
straight, sir.
Yeah.
Give me 5 minutes. I got a new pitch for you.
Yeah, and I have to, mention, it's of all the episodes in which that happened, it's one about technology going wrong.
Yeah, right. That's good stuff.
It is. Ah.
Well, there you have it.
So, which do you prefer?
Yeah, Yeah, what do you like? Do you like Robo Copycats or do you like Robo 4 Too Big to Fail?
And
Good
that's
times.
for the number 4, right? It's not Robocop 4 Too Big to Fail.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Got it.
Got to have that number.
You do? Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Speak for the rest of us. We're all fine in our numberless world.
Yeah, you didn't go in between. You just added words at the end.
I did.
Per usual.
I'm already regretting it as well.
Where's
There's so much wrong with my
Robocop?
pitch. There's so much wrong with my pitch. You said
One of my
you
favorite
asked me-
moments on the show ever.
Oh, it was one of the
I wish
greatest things
people
I've
could
ever
have
done.
seen the look on your face when you realized what you were about to say. It's too good.
There's so many problems with my pitch. I think it might actually be a worse movie than Robocop. I need to redo my rankings to put my pitch at the bottom of the list.
Well, to say
of the
nothing
Robocop films.
of my pitch,
And
yeah.
I also may.
I feel the same.
I also may want to substitute it with that pitch I did for Naked Gun, which was also a Robocop parody. I think that's got a better chance than this one. Maybe I'll throw that into the poll as well, just to try and split the vote, so I'm not.
Hey, wait a
defeated.
second. Yeah, don't try to double your chances.
I think it was called Naked Gun 4.0.
I feel like when we do the voting, it's too hard to do though, because you always just do the titles. I wish you had a small description of plot.
Well, that's why you got to listen to the episodes. Then no one would download them. It's a marketing strategy.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if I was a regular listener, I might not remember by the time I get to the poll.
But then you go back and listen to it again, and we get an extra
Download?
extra bump.
I don't think that's how it works.
That's definitely how it works.
It's already downloaded. Maybe we get bonus
Well-
points for listening to it from beginning to end again. I don't know.
Yeah, true. Well, that's why our titles have got to be foolproof. You have to
What?
sum up the
You're
entire-
telling me this now?
Yeah, I've been telling you since this began. Get your title right, because that's what people are voting on, not the idea, the title.
What a bunch of bullshit.
That's why I'm pressing you on your titles. I don't give you shit about the rest of your story. This is the business we've chosen. People go see movies based on what they're called, not what they're about.
Please. They see it for the preview, so you know some about it. You get to know some story, some narrative.
And we're back to Dial of Destiny once again.
Ugh, terrible title.
They should have just called it The Dial of Destiny and not told anyone it was an Indiana Jones film.
Right. I think we would have figured it out.
No, that's probably not quite a way that you can do that anymore.
Yeah, no.
Shame.
All right. Anything left for you?
No, that's it.
Me too. Ladies and gentlemen.
I'm going to flagellate myself for the rest of the
Yeah,
day.
which one of these monstrous sequel ideas do you like the most?
Which of us do you want to see humiliated more?
That could be a separate question, though.
The guy who spent an entire episode going, it's so stupid that they keep saying, where's Robocop? And then led with that in his own pitch.
That would make me vote for you.
Yeah, quite.
That's great. All right. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. You send us an email to everythingsequel@gmail.com. Let us know which sequel you prefer more. When you hear us next time.
Less.
Yeah, right. When you hear us next time, we'll have a brand new series for you.
Oh, we will.
I'm excited.
It's a very, very exciting one. Some familiar faces, but a brand new series.
Yeah. Good times. All right. Until then, everyone.
Robo, are you okay? I love the fact that line exists. That she came up with that already a poor nickname. And she's called him Murphy a couple of times in the film before. So it's not even a nickname.
That's fantastic.
She just decides.
All right. That's it. Done and done.
I like to think I know something about beer, but nowadays even I get overwhelmed when confronted by the exhaustive selection of craft beers they have at bars, breweries, and even grocery stores. Back in the day you had one, maybe two craft beers to choose from, and if you were confused, you ordered a Guinness. But in beerstinations like San Diego, the craft beer options lately are in double, sometimes even triple digits. So what's a beer drinker to do? You need what I need, the Vegas Beer Guys. Your beer of choice should be a perfect blend of malt and hops. And so a live show about beer needs that same balance. And the Vegas Beer Guys matches beer expert Dan Aker with self-proclaimed beer novice Stephen J. Weiss. The results are eminently drinkable. They're on Facebook, they're on Instagram. They'll try new beers, they'll tell you about beers. Think of them as your beer Sherpas guiding you up a foamy-headed mountain to reach the peak of your pint. God, I need a beer.